Was it like, do I feel healthier drinking it?
Yeah, that was it. How healthy do you feel drinking it?
I don't know. I feel pretty strong.
You feel strong, or is that just,
Yeah,
you know, being fucking drunk?
that's the booze. Yeah, probably. I like the whole Mario Paint music in the background too. It's kind of neat.
Yeah,
I'm still listening to it.
that's the theme for this episode, Mario Paint.
I've
The
never played it.
the
Damn.
creative exercise is actually a really, I thought it was a pretty good, paint introduction.
Well, I've seen like the videos of people doing like that Through the Fire and Flames.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, the Mario Paint composer videos. Those are always kind of.
I remember watching one where they did Nickelback in the Mario Paint thing, and they were showing like how all their songs are the same goddamn thing.
Speaking of Nickelback, that's one of my albums.
When you're what? Oh, the perfect albums?
Yeah, the top 5.
No.
Yeah, there's one of them on there.
Banning that.
So, number 4, Guinness Draught.
Is that another
The darkest beer.
Oh.
Yeah.
I thought we were going off albums. I'm like,
Yeah,
I
that's
don't
what
know
I
this
was
album.
thinking.
Yeah, the top 4 healthiest beer is Guinness, apparently.
Because it's
Because
a light beer.
And then there's number 5, Sam Adams Light Lager. Not much to say about that. Number 6, New Belgium Blue Paddle. Never had that.
Blue Paddle?
Blue Paddle, it's a Pilsner.
I've been paddled by a blue man. Does that count?
Kind of.
Probably.
Okay.
Number 7, Full Sail Session Lager. Never had that one.
Never heard of it.
Yeah, me either. Number 8, Butte Creek Organic India Pale Ale. I'm not a big fan of IPAs.
Yeah.
What is the IPA thing? Like, what is?
It stands for Indian Pale Ale. It's basically like a beer that tastes extremely hoppy, like grassy.
I'm not
You
down
ever had
with
one of those?
grassy.
Yeah, it kind of tastes like it's
I
like
don't
you
like
know, like-
grassy beers.
I'd rather just eat a salad. Be fun.
right. Well, like you ever had cheese and then you have like sharp cheddar?
Yeah.
It's like IPA has that sharp kind of flavor to it. Some people dig it. I enjoy it like as long as it's kind of mild, but if it's like extremely what they call hoppy, that's what you'll taste. It's like that grassy kind of thing. And then number 9 is Sierra Nevada Pale Ale.
Never had it either.
Which one is your favorite out of these?
Well, so the number 1 was the Yingling Light.
I've
I
had
prefer
that.
like regular Yingling.
I've had regular Yingling. I love it.
And then there's the Yingling Black and Tan, which is like a darker form of like the regular lager. Just kind of is. That was like the very first beer I ever had. So that was worth it. And then number 2 is what I just got, the Purple Haze. So I didn't know it was so healthy.
First beer I ever had, I was 8 years old. Me and my cousin
Smell some root beer.
No, my brother used to live in this trailer near my grandparents' house, and we like went over there, and like he had just gotten back from fishing and went inside and fell asleep and left his cooler on his porch. And so we just like went in and was like, it started off, we were like psh, popping them and just, enjoying the sound, and then we were like, let's drink this shit. My grandma said that we were walking back, and she noticed that we were drunk right away from the way that we were walking.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I was hammered. She was very pissed off at my brother, and rightfully so.
Nah, it's fine.
So, this week, what have you guys been up to?
We've been recording.
Recording. Yeah,
Yeah.
We're recording right now.
Oh yeah.
We're live,
Hell yeah.
baby. We're always live. We just hop right in there.
Well, this week, aside from getting the capture card, there really hasn't been any excitement.
How did the capture card situation go? Were you able to get everything going the way it should?
Absolutely not. I spent about 3 hours, but I guess it kind of looks presentable, but the main thing is,
You're
and
not.
it's important to really research what you're about to buy and make sure you can actually use it before you buy it. And that's a big thing that I don't do.
That is your Tristan Davis pro tip.
Yeah.
That's number 1.
Put that in your notebooks. Pop quiz next week. But no, apparently my processor doesn't meet the minimum specified requirements, so it's like terrible. That's what happens when you buy like a budget gaming PC.
Yeah. It's getting time for you to upgrade that thing anyway.
I just bought it like 4 months ago.
4 months ago? Really?
It's been longer than that. It's like a year.
Okay, I was about to say. It seems like. Yeah. Anyway, Eric, what have you been up to?
Not a damn thing.
What games have you been playing? What game are you playing right now?
Right now, considering I can't get out of it because we're not even halfway done with it, Final Fantasy 14.
The only thing I remember about that game is the summons look dope as fuck, and I like the fishing in it.
It's still pretty dope as fuck.
Is there anything else that would, catch my eye besides just the fishing?
You don't have to make multiple characters if you don't want to. Like, every character can be every class. You could change them on the fly.
That's pretty cool.
Hmm.
I do
Yeah.
remember I played the demo that they brought out. Like it was.
Dude,
it's a really good
it's
demo.
changed so much since the original, like, Final Fantasy 14 came out, because they had the original game out, and you had to, when you went to go be a class, like if you wanted to be, say if you wanted to be a paladin in this game,
Yes.
you would have to level up like the warrior class, and you'd have to level up like the white mage up to a certain point, and then you unlocked it.
Mhm.
Now it's just, if you want to be a paladin, just play like this one base class, and it levels up at level 30 to a paladin. Like there's no multiple class crossing bullshit you have to do. And the gameplay itself is a lot easier.
So is it kind of like every class is a separate spec, almost?
Yeah.
That's
Like
pretty
there's the typical, like, the damage, the DPS, the tanking and the healing, and every class has its own thing.
neat.
I just thought of something.
Hmm.
I've been playing this fucking Mario Paint music the whole time. This is gonna pick up.
Yeah, I've definitely enjoyed it. Like, very pleasant. It's not too annoying.
I
Just
we're not gonna get flagged for using this thing or anything, are we?
Just
I
pause
mean-
it now and hope to God it doesn't.
or you could just put,
I mean, we've
you
come
could
too
put
far.
in-
at
yeah,
this
just
point.
put in like the description, like music by blah blah blah.
Yeah,
All rights reserved.
I'm new to this YouTube game, so yeah, we'll see.
We'll see.
If anything, this is just our third week. Maybe they'll cut us some slack.
Okay, but I was wanting to ask something else about the Final Fantasy game. Like, is the story worth playing? Because like a lot of the times, like there are some good Final Fantasy stories, but some of the stories are just like really convoluted. Like the only story that I actually really liked was, I think
7.
no,
Oh,
I think it was 2, 6, 8, and whatever one Vaughn was in,
12.
which was just Star Wars. But
It's you've played enough Final Fantasies to know about the whole crystal situation thing, right? Every world has a crystal and all that shit.
yeah, all the shit
It's
that they just kind of blew up with 13.
Yeah, they're doing the crystal kind of thing in this one, where the characters are warriors of light, and they're all blah blah blah. Like you have to get like a sigil thing to upgrade your class. The story has actually not been too bad so far. Like I've gotten to almost to the end of the base game storyline, and the beginning of it was kind of, hey, this is your class quest. Hey, here's some class story. Here's some more class story. And now it's like we're storming a fucking castle with some dude in a giant mech suit.
damn.
Yeah, Sid's doing some stuff.
Isn't Sid a lady in that one?
Nope, this one, no, that's 15.
I'm getting them
Shame.
mixed up.
This one's the MMO, 14.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
see,
I kind of stopped playing the 15.
see that's the one I was talking about with all the.
Oh no, that
we-
storyline I couldn't get into. Like it,
Oh, okay.
legit was like, hey, you're this prince. All right, well your dad's dead. All right, well it's time for us to get your throne back. And then that's about as far as I've gotten into it. And it's been boring as fuck.
Oh.
Yeah.
I was wondering about the whole like team of feathered hair boys and the fucking slick ass car riding through the towns and shit. I don't know.
Like the gameplay is really good. I'll give it that.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. Like the only thing I've seen about it is like it's got some. I've heard it's like really good fishing. I've played a couple.
Oh no, they're moving them out. Sorry.
Okay, well, as far as my week has went, I've spent the week catching up on the Berserk manga. There's a YouTube channel that catches up on a lot of the manga because I really don't have time to sit down and read 500 chapters of a badass manga like I wish I had. So I've been doing that, and I have to say that manga is so much like more violent than the anime and things that happen.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god.
Any manga like compared to the original the show, it's so much worse. Like there's the Dragon Maid or whatever it is.
Mhm.
You've heard about it? Okay.
Yeah.
The show is legit like 10% as lewd as the fucking manga is. It's pretty bad.
Just a lot like there's just so many things that happened in the manga, like the whole part to where Griffith like gets the egg and the eclipse happens and stuff. There's a whole fight with this demon guy that happens that was nowhere in the anime. It wasn't in the movie. Just this whole different badass demon character that they basically just destroy this whole forest. And none of that is in the anime. It was like
Between who?
it was
Between
between
Griffith?
it was no Griffith at the time. He had had his where they put him in the jail cell.
I see. Okay.
All that had happened, and
Right.
like this is them escaping from that jail cell, and like right before the eclipse gets there, like Griffith is about to get on the horse and carriage and like go into the water. Like
I see. Okay.
yeah, and so like it's between Guts and this general guy that the king sends after the band of hawks, and it turns out that he's like a fucking demon. It's fucking crazy. I recommend watching it. It's some of the coolest action and most violent shit I've ever seen in a manga.
Well, I mean, it makes sense as to why they skipped it in the
Yeah,
anime then.
Because you can't
it's
be
like,
showing that shit.
Right. Well, not only like aside from like the gore and like the gruesome stuff, like story-wise, they really didn't encounter anyone except for what's his name?
Oh my god.
The guy that's been well, anyway, you know who I'm talking
Yeah.
about. Like,
Yeah.
he's been on either side of the battlefield for basically like a long ass time. Like he was the only like demon type thing that I guess the real world people encountered, and Guts, I guess, battling with his own like internal like things
Yeah, they kept
later on.
They kept
Yeah.
it more grounded until Griffith basically his shit hit the fan.
Exactly. Right.
Yeah, and then
So, I mean, that makes sense.
yeah,
But I would really like to read that though.
I recommend it. It's like I said, it's probably one of my favorite mangas I've ever read or listened to. And other thing I got going on, we had a VR game night last night. I tried a game called Super Hot.
Yes.
Have either one of you seen anything for that?
I've seen it.
Okay, well, some parts of that game is really fucking terrifying. So like in the tutorial, you've got the visor on and you're just in this completely white world, like everything is just flushed out white, and there's these, it's like these red glass like people, like they're made of glass and they're like red, and during the tutorial it's showing you like you can take guns away from them if they get too close to you, and like you have to dodge the bullets when they try to shoot you with these bullets, and the bullet dodging's crazy because like if a bullet whizzes by you, you can see like the gleam of light off of the bullet as it's like right in your face. And there's this one really this part that was the scariest part. It's where they're trying to get you to understand that you're gonna have to have fast reactions to the movements and stuff. So this one guy's just like walking up to you, like have you ever seen The Fifth Element?
A long time ago.
Yeah, but there's a part in The Fifth Element where Bruce Willis is trying to negotiate with this alien, and he just like walks up into the room and shoots the guy in the face. And he's like, "That's how we negotiate." That's what it's like. This red glass man just like walking up right in your face with like, this is the only purpose he has, and you have to think really fast on your feet to how to interact with him. But I got lost in that game, man. Like I was throwing shit up in the air and trying to shoot it, and they had a fan on, and I almost destroyed the fucking hand sensors trying to shoot shit.
Like they had the ceiling fan, you're about to put your arm up in?
Yeah, like it.
Yeah.
I hit it. The fan hit the sensor so hard it flew out of my hand. The batteries flew all over the room. And then they were in the other room playing, I think, Mario Tetris.
They just hear clack.
Yeah, all I hear is one of them say, "What the fuck is he doing?" And so after that, I kind of had to chill out a little bit. But it was awesome. Like things that they can do with the VR headset, like I was really doubtful, but like yeah, after you try it, I think it's really worth it. To have one.
Virtual reality. The fan hits the shit.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Literally. You gotta at least have a room dedicated
Set
to
up
this.
for it.
Yeah. Like that room that we were in, it was completely empty. I had suggested him just to buy a bunch of mattresses and just staple them to the walls. And
Yeah,
just
I noticed
make
the
that
one
VR.
mattress like lying up against the wall behind you. And I
Yeah.
figured that's what had happened. You cleared all the room out.
Yeah, that was his mattress. He actually sleeps on that, but he was like, "Yeah, we'll just put this up against the wall and have more room."
Yeah.
I was doubtful, and then I got in there, and if I had it right now, I would be playing it.
Yeah. No, I know you were enjoying it just from the expression on your face. Like
Oh, yeah. It was.
you're like in an own like your own little world.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be badass.
There was another game that we played to where, okay, so like somebody had to be sitting at the computer, and I would be seeing a table with a bomb on it, and I had to explain to the person on the computer like, this bomb has these different color wires in the first part of the bomb, and they would ask me what colors are on the wires, and so I'd have to be like,
the views a friend thingy. I know what you're talking about.
Are you talking about keep talking and nobody explodes?
I don't know if that was
That
the
might be
name of it. Maybe.
But there's something similar, and that's what it's called.
I don't know.
But it's like a game you can only play with other people. Otherwise, it's like
Yeah, because somebody has to like read it out while you're doing stuff.
Yeah.
It's like a D&D kind of like someone has to be like the DM, so to speak.
Yeah, you definitely couldn't do it by yourself. The implications for D&D with the fucking headset, that would be awesome.
Oh yeah.
Just being able to like group up with your friends and actually have like actual avatars and it look like we're together and stuff. It'd be incredible.
We should do it. You heard it here first. Like
I didn't get to do it, but he also said they have a theater mode. So like if you wanted to watch a friend movie with a friend that was like far away, uh,
You both could be in the theater.
yeah, you both could just be like sitting in a movie theater talking to each other and stuff. It was really cool.
Yeah, that'd be pretty neat.
So that's all that we did this week. It's regular Joel bullshit, playing VR. So let's go ahead and get into our weekly topic. This week we've all decided that we're going to tell some stories about things that happened to us in high school or stories that we had heard from high school. That one over. What was the other choice? I couldn't remember what I had wrote. Like perfect albums.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I feel like we can do both.
well,
Because I got a lot of weird stories from high school and all that stuff. So
it's whatever you guys want to do. I mean,
Yeah.
we can do both. So, who wants to start out? Nobody wants to start out?
I can start out. So yeah, from high school, one of them kind of stands out in particular because it's like I never figured out who it was, but I want to say it was like ninth or 10th grade. I'm in this kind of like graphic design sort of course, and there was a friend in there, not like super close friend, but it was like some girl I knew, and the discussion, or we were having some kind of like banter back and forth where I said something about like, yeah, I don't think I'm like all that attractive or something. It was like something to that effect. And she goes, yeah, you're probably the person that wrote I Heart Tristan Davis in the girls' restroom. And it's like one of those things where it's like I'm like, yeah, I don't think I'm attractive, and I'm sitting there like stretching and yawning. And she was like, she said that, and I like stopped, and I'm like, wait, what are you talking about? Like, because this is the first I've heard of this. And she was like, yeah, in the girls' restroom, right up the hall, in the vocational building, like in green Sharpie on the wall, it says I Heart Tristan Davis with an exclamation mark. And I was like, you got to be joking. And she was like, no, I'll be right back. So she asked to go to the restroom, goes up there, takes a picture of it on her phone, comes back, and shows it to me. And I'm like, like, I didn't know I was that well known. But at the time or that year, I had a lot of classes in the vocational building,
I was
so I was like
I was
back and
slinging
forth in the
around a
hall.
lot of dick that year.
No,
So,
no, no, nothing like that. Nothing like, but it's like I never would have imagined like someone would, for one, vandalize the women's restroom. Like in the men's restroom, like people would piss on the floors and like draw all this dumb shit on the walls.
They
and
still do that 20 years later.
Yeah, they rip the stall doors off. Like, how
Our
are you gonna
bath-
take a shit in
our
a bathroom
bathroom
with no stall?
our bathroom at our work, if you look on the toilet paper little cylinder thing, somebody
I know
has
what you're
wrote
talking about.
"fuck my life" on it.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the one that says I love black cock.
Oh,
Oh wow.
no, I haven't seen that one.
That one's been there for at least 6 months now.
I'll keep an eye open for that though. So did you ever find out who did it?
I never did. No,
my
and I
God.
thought like I have like two people in mind. One of them was like a senior that year that went to graduate, and the other was like the person that told me about it. But other than that, like I have absolutely no idea like who would do something like that.
I would at that point I would have to go around asking questions trying to get to the bottom of it. That would be
Well, I
what
mean,
I would do.
at the time, like I guess everyone has that stage where you don't feel like attractive to anyone, and that was me. And I was just like, who, yeah, I really have to know who this person was.
You like get all red in the face and you're like, oh gosh darn it, guys.
Yeah, right. But yeah, that was like the weirdest thing. And then that was just something that affected me specifically. But another story is in one of the gyms, the way the basketball goals were hung up is they were kind of like suspended from the ceiling. They were also sort of like bolted with struts against the wall behind it.
Mhm.
And at the time, like I wasn't like super fit, but I was in good enough shape where I would like run on the wall and like jump and grab those bars, and they were like, "Oh, look at this, the motherfucking Ninja Warrior shit this motherfucker's doing."
Sure.
So one day, the coach, because the coaches teach the gym classes, he like left the room. So I ran up the wall and grabbed the bar, and I was like swinging back and forth on those bars, and they were probably a good like 4 or 5 feet from one another. So it couldn't easily be done, but I was managing to do it. So I went back and forth a few times, and there's people there, and they're like yelling, like, "Oh, he's gonna bust his ass," and then there's some people that are like, kind of like, "Wow, like that looks great." So I jumped and went to grab the next bar, but for some reason my hand cramped, and I like leaped out to grab with one arm, and the other arm just kind of locked in place, and I slid, or kind of like slid down, and because my hand was gripping, like how when you grip something, I guess like the palm of your hand, I guess like your palm knuckles, or so to speak, like where your
Yep.
fingers meet the palm of your hand.
The palm
Yeah.
They get
knuckle.
yeah, they
Palm knuckle.
the palm knuckle, the underside of your knuckle, basically.
Yeah.
Like they form calluses, right? Well, imagine a callus being formed on all four of those, and then immediately like being peeled from your skin.
Oh my god, man.
That's what
Mm.
happened. Like my skin
Ah,
rolled up. Yeah, my
ah.
skin. It rolled up like on the palm of my hand, and like I could see like it when I went to like kind of like move my fingers, like the flaps of skin would like flap with it. It was very weird. Not to mention these bars contain like an incredible amount of dust and dirt from being like not cleaned for so long. So these wounds on my hand that were beginning to bleed had like a whole bunch of like black shit on them.
My
And I was
face can't be any more scrunched up from this story right now.
Yeah, it was.
Ugh.
This was like my right hand. I'm right-handed. I do everything on my right. Like ruined my right hand. So I'm like, dude, I have to go see the nurse. Like this shit has to be clean, right?
Ugh.
And not only that, the coach is about to come back, and if he saw it, he'd be like, "How the fuck did that happen?" Like, and I would have to explain. Well, I've been dicking around, swinging on the bars behind the basketball goal. So this guy, and this is like the weirdest thing I think I've ever did. This guy had this scab on his arm for some reason, and he told the coach like, "Hey, listen, do you have any Neosporin so I could put it on this scab?" And the coach was like, "Yeah." Took him down, and he was like, "I'll rub it in myself." Didn't actually rub it in. Came up to me in gym class and was like, "Here." Took his Neosporin off of his scab and put it on my finger where I could rub it on my hand. It was a very weird thing. Not to mention, I
Jeez.
worked at a Zaxby's at the time, like frying food and stuff like that, and I had these sores on my hand, which I covered, but it's like when you get like some kind of sore or scratch or scrape on your hand and then heat touches it, it's even more sensitive. So it's
Yeah.
like for the next 3 weeks, I was in like an excruciating amount of pain
Uh,
on my right hand. And that pretty much encompasses my high school experience. So,
Jesus.
yeah, never in my life did I do Ninja Warrior stuff ever. I still think about it, but yeah.
that's intense.
Also, that guy's name, that guy's name was Zod the Immortal.
Zod the Oh, okay,
Yes.
yeah. Zod.
Zod.
You're talking about the Berserk character we couldn't think of
Yeah,
earlier.
right.
Yeah.
Little picture of him.
I
right
was like,
there.
I don't know of any one person in high school whose name is Zod the Immortal. I feel like I'm missing out on something.
Zod the Immortal gave me some Neosporin.
Yeah, for a second I thought you were
my
talking about the Neosporin guy. I was like, his name was Zod? How fucking metal is that? Yeah. Well, Tristan, like there's a thing in basketball when like players go up and try to dunk on the rim. Like sometimes I won't go into it, but sometimes their hands will catch on things, and it's a thing that I heard a paramedic call once a degloving.
Oh,
So
yeah.
Ooh.
yeah,
Yeah, you could stop there.
yeah, that's as far as I'm gonna go with it.
Mm.
Yeah, it's called a degloving.
Yeah, no.
Don't look that up on Google.
Mm.
No, definitely not.
You'd
Not
have
do
better
that.
luck like finding the blue waffle, like the actual waffle that is blue.
Don't look that up either.
Yeah, don't look that one up.
Do
For the love of God.
You don't want to look up the fastest pizza maker. on meatspin.com. You don't want to look that up.
God damn it.
And you also don't want to look at the $1 Million Lemonade that's on sale.
I don't know what
Yeah.
any of that is, and I'm never
I don't
looking it up.
I don't
Yeah,
know
you
about
don't
the
want
$1
to.
Million Lemonade, but I know exactly what meat spin is.
It's at lemonparty.org.
I can
Never
just
mind.
imagine that.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Oh, I can just.
Well, it's like memes are today's thing, you know, and like shock sites were the thing of the 90s. I
Yeah.
feel like that's how far we've come.
I used to
Like,
get on Rotten.com all the time and look up autopsy videos and stuff.
yeah,
Like,
exactly. Yeah, Rotten.com was like a big thing, like a big like shock site, kind of like links or pictures, stuff like that.
it was the first
Yeah.
time I seen JFK's autopsy, and I was like, "That's a dead guy."
He's most definitely dead. But
Yeah.
yeah.
He's extremely fucking dead. Uh,
He was AFK.
Oh,
JFK was AFK.
oh man. I'll give it to you.
360 no scope from the grassy knoll.
just a bunch of YYs in the bush, man. It's fun.
So are you gonna do the perfect album, like the 3 perfect albums, or?
Well, we can't. What about y'all's high school
Oh,
stories?
we want to do. You just cover the high school stories first.
We can.
That's fine.
Or we could do like the high school story and then the albums, and then each person do.
It's whatever you want to do, man.
Okay, so
There ain't no scripts to this fucking show. I don't know what to tell you.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
So number 5 would be Trivium's The Crusade. I kind of
always,
enjoy that.
yeah, I liked that one. I also liked Shogun. That was the tour that I actually got to see them. That was the best band I've ever seen live.
Never seen them live.
I recommend fucking seeing them live.
I
And
don't doubt it.
and have them play every song for the Crusade, because that album is badass.
hmm
Go
One
up,
thing
go
I
out there
thought
and
was
request
interesting
it.
about them is like when they first got started, where I know like the front man, Matt Heffy, I don't know how you pronounce his
Mhm.
sadly.
El Jefe.
Like or I don't know if it was just him or like all the other people in the band, they said they never studied music theory. And they had no idea like how to like read music.
So they just doing like drumline playing it from ear.
Basically.
It's neat.
Or I mean like there's other ways to I guess play guitar like through tablature and stuff like that.
Mhm.
But even still, like to create music and not know anything about the theory behind it and just kind of go with what feels right or go with what sounds right, that takes a lot of talent.
Yeah.
So I thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Number 4 would be I know I mentioned Nickelback earlier, but Nickelback's Silver Side Up. That was like their first well-known album, and that was also the very first album I ever like received. I got that for Christmas one year when I was like 9.
So you're
or something.
legit. You're legit a Nickelback fan.
I mean, I was
I never knew that.
until I started to realize like a lot of their music same,
Really
and I think
shitty.
that's yeah, well, like that's the biggest thing I feel like is against a lot of people that like they hate their music is that it sounds the same,
Mhm.
you know. So like if there's a lot of variance in what they play, that's what makes them interesting. And I never really understood that until I started actually playing an instrument and realized how difficult it is or how difficult it can be to create new things.
Yeah.
Takes a lot of effort. Number 3 would be Metallica's "And Justice for All"
Really?
for all
You're coming out
the
with
wrong
Metallica.
reasons. Yeah, like big. I would say, if anything, definitely a very big Metallica fan. Owned all their albums at one point.
Yeah.
I definitely don't listen to them as much now, but before I started playing music and really like branching out and listening to other types of things, that was the I'll only listen to like Metallica, heavy stuff like that. That's what got me interested in Trivium, whatever. Let's see. Number 2 would be Red Hot Chili Peppers Stadium Arcadium.
That was pretty good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely enjoyed that. And that was, I guess, right after I started getting into music and like learning to play bass a lot more. I started to idolize Flea a lot. So it was really cool.
I seen him in a movie recently. Like he was in another movie. Oh, it was
Flea?
I was watching. Yeah, Flea. He's actually in a lot of movies. He was in one of the Back to Futures. He was in uh, fuck.
He
He
was in a
played.
movie with Pauly Shore.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
was.
I
He
don't know
was
what
in
that was.
that. He was in
How
the
about Baby Driver?
He was in Baby Driver. That was the one I watched. But he also played.
Yeah, he was in Baby Driver.
He was also he played Donnie on the Wild Thornberrys too.
Yeah.
Yes. Hmm.
He was also in The Big Lebowski.
Yeah. Donnie from the Wild Thornberrys. There was a newer show called what is that fucking show? The Imaginary House for Imaginary Creatures or whatever.
Yeah, Foster's
Yeah,
Home.
there was a
Yeah.
character in that called Coco. I always want to see Donnie and Coco get into an argument because Coco was always like Coco Coco Coco.
Who did he voice?
Donnie.
Donnie.
Yeah, he was. You had him right. He did that.
No, I'm talking about in Foster's Home.
Oh no, he didn't
Oh,
voice anybody
oh,
in
I
Foster's.
understand. Yeah,
I
you're talking
just
about
yeah
him getting. Yeah, okay.
yeah
I thought he voiced Coco.
Yeah.
no
What do you say? Yeah.
no
All
no no
right.
none of that shit. I keep
Number
forgetting
one.
my albums.
Go
I
ahead.
have to write them down. No, you're fine. You're
I'm coming up with them on the spot. Like no shit, because I thought we were gonna do this next week.
Oh.
I mean, you were pretty right on the Nickelback because you said that earlier. It was on the list, and then there it is.
Yeah, right. All right. And number one would be "Songs for the Deaf," Queens of the Stone Age.
Yeah.
Yeah.
"Go with the Flow" is probably one of my number one songs. I enjoy like all time, but there's a lot on that album.
That yeah. I've got something to say about them later, but yeah.
Okay.
He's like, I've got tick marks for that shit.
Well, I guess that's all yours, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty much done.
Okay.
That was it.
I agreed with the majority of your list that they were like fucking perfect, except for
Even Nickelback.
no, not the Nickelback. That's the only one I don't agree with.
That was part of the not majority on his list.
I don't know. I've just never liked the. I don't know. It's just something about their songs I never got into. But I still like Disturbed, and nobody really likes them anymore. So I kind of see where you're coming from.
Yeah.
There's a couple songs from them I could stop hearing and it'd be okay.
Yeah,
I've heard them enough in my lifetime.
I feel you. So Eric, do you got any stories you want to tell?
My high school as a whole was pretty boring. I was like that kind of kid that was super quiet, just did their work and just went home. But there was, I'll tell you a story that this other dude told me, and it was like a D&D story, and it's always stuck with me because I always laughed. Uh, he said that him and a couple buddies were playing D&D, and their DM, their GM, their game master dude that dictates how everything's played out. He had this storyline set up that he was going to have their group of people go out to like the front of this gate of this city or whatever, and they were going to talk to some guards or whatever, and they were going to get ambushed. Well, he wanted the party to completely die, and he was going to have like this dude come up and like in a sense resurrect them and be like, hey, I saved you guys' life, do me a favor and do this one thing for me. Well, the dude that was telling me the story, he said that they got outside, they were talking to whoever they were talking to, and they got ambushed. Well, his character at the time was a wizard, and wizards are generally the super strong spellcasty people, like to just nuke the shit out of things. Well, he had this spell called Fireball that, and I don't know what edition it was. I'll have to go like look it up later. But apparently, when you roll it, it does like a super huge amount of damage to things in an area.
Yeah.
He one shot every single one of those enemies that were coming out to them. And like the dude like walked up, like he had the DM had that character walk up that was gonna come save him and just like kind of stare at them, and he like the DM was like, well, I don't know what to do with this character now. I guess I'll just go with you guys. He said that the dude had no idea what to do after that point, other than be like, all right, well, we should go this way. Like I don't. It was just one of those things. Like he was telling me because we were doing like gym shit, walking around the stadium and whatnot, and I was like, that sounds pretty neat. Never heard of D&D before. Uh, Other than that, like legit, my high school was just like, hey, I'm going to English class. All right, well, there's math class. Oh, we got pep rally. Nah, I'm going to study hall.
S-
Just
s-
play Madden.
school school at where we went to school was, God, it was so fucking dull.
Unless you were a part of some kind of extracurricular activity of some kind of sport thing, like unless you were in football or basketball, even if you were in basketball, nobody gave a flying fuck about you.
Hmm.
You
Yeah.
were either on the football team or you were just a nobody.
That's legit how it was.
And now look at us. We're making it big. We got a YouTube channel.
Got a fan base out the yin
Yeah.
yang with
Yeah.
products.
Fuck the haters.
Yeah, one day.
Fuckers. In terms of albums, uh, I didn't really base them around anything other than like my personal preferences about them, like how much I listen to them, and if I would listen to the whole album, I'm gonna put it on this list.
Yeah.
Uh, I have a tie for like I only have technically four, but there's only like two of them are tied for three. Uh, Linkin Park's Hybrid Theory and Meteora.
Oh
Like,
man. Definitely.
yeah,
Yeah.
like as a kid, I listened to these motherfuckers all the time.
No doubt.
Yeah.
Number two, I don't know if you guys have even heard of them before, but Hands Like Houses, their Ground Dweller album.
I have
Like,
heard of them.
yeah, like they're like I really like that band. They're from like Australia, and like I really like their sound. If you're into like fuck, I don't know another band that I can compare them to. Uh, what is that? Fuck, I'm gonna have to go look it up because now I don't even know.
It's all right.
Totally
Uh,
unprepared. Eric, you're off the show.
yeah, get over it. Oh, Fair to Midland. That the song "Dance of the Manatee." You know how that song sounded?
Yeah.
That's how a lot of that album sounded from Hands Like Houses.
Sweet.
Like it's that upbeat, super fast paced kind of speech talk singing.
Yeah. That's another band. If you guys haven't listened to, you need to check them out. Fair to
Yeah,
Midland.
I got to check out their like newest album, whatever it was. I know there's like a song on there, Ricky Tikki Tavi. Dude, I love that song. I've only heard that one song from that album, but I love it. Uh, and my number one is also my number one band. A Perfect Circle's 13th Step.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. There's so much shit I listen from them. Like all of their albums are really good, and their newest one comes out in like a week, less than a week.
The three songs I've heard off of it have sounded like they haven't missed a fucking step.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
they're on par for what everything else has been.
Hmm. It's fucking awesome. Fucking Maynard keeps kicking the shit out.
Whether it
Consistently.
be solo or otherwise.
Consistently kicking shit out. Alright. Is that all that you have?
Yeah, it's probably all that I got.
Okay. So I guess I've got one or two stories I can tell. Um let's see. The first story that I know, uh so one day I was getting ready to get on the bus, and it would always happen to me like right before the bus got there. I would feel that I had to go to the bathroom like super fucking bad.
No, this can't be one of those stories.
What? What? Where I gotta go?
No, go ahead.
No, it there no
You didn't shit your pants on the
no
bus.
no no
did
no
you?
no.
Okay.
So no, I didn't. Not this time.
Okay.
So
It's not as shitty of a story as you thought it was gonna be.
no, but
Yeah,
it was
okay.
like it was
Go
like
ahead.
it was like churning my fucking stomach. Like it was painful. But the bus was on its way, and I was like, I could either, miss school, which I didn't like breaking the rules. I don't like to do. I don't want to. I don't like being the bad kid. So I was like, I'll just hold it, and maybe I can sneak into a bathroom at school. So like we go to school, and first period, uh, I asked to go to the bathroom. Well, fucking let me go to the bathroom.
Really?
Yeah, it was my math teacher. He wouldn't let me go to the bathroom. So I had to wait to the next class. Well, the next class also wouldn't let me go. And It had gotten to the point where like literally I stood up and just kind of stood there because I was kind of debating whether or not to get in trouble or not, and she told me to, to basically fucking sit down.
Sit the fuck down.
Yeah, and then like the next class, like I could have went to the bathroom in between classes, but everybody would pile up into the bathroom, and
Oh
this
yeah,
is
way too much traffic in the
yeah,
hallway.
it
To
Yeah.
put stuff
it
like that.
wasn't a situation where I wanted to be noticed, so I was holding it.
Right.
So my next class was my welding class, so we go down there. And I was like, well, there's supposed to be a fucking pep rally today. And I never went to that shit. I fucking hated going to pep rallies. I didn't give a fuck about the football team. I didn't like anybody on the football team. I didn't want to cheer on anybody. So we would go to Mr. Gross's room and like fucking play Magic and shit. So I was waiting for that. And then over the intercom, they're like, by the way, uh, study hall's been canceled. So the teacher's like, yeah, everybody's got to go to the pep rally. So we're going to the pep rally, and I'm trying to sneak into the bathroom, and they go into the bathrooms around the gym to make sure that nobody goes into them. So I'm like in the
Wow.
yeah, I'm like in the bathroom, and like one of the teachers comes in there and is like, you can't be in here. I was like, I've got to go really bad. He's like, well, you should have went earlier. So
Damn.
he makes me go into the gym and sit down. And so I find like some of my friends and I sit with them. And then so I'm sitting there with basically my guts about to fucking explode. And I look over and my fucking girlfriend at the time is like all over this other fucking guy.
Wow.
Yeah, like she was like all over him, like with her arms all over him and shit. It was fucking terrible. I was so goddamn mad about that, and I had to go to the bathroom, and the pep rally ended up being like an hour and 30 minutes long. It was extremely long, and so like once it ended, I got up and ran out of the gym, and I ran all the way down to where my welding class was because there was a private bathroom down there that you could shut. So I ran down there and I shut the door and I just fucking unloaded. Like it was like I brought the full arsenal. But, and of course the pep rally let out, so everybody's coming back to the welding class, and there's a fucking line outside the bathroom because other people want to get in while I'm in there. And so this one guy, I think it was I can't remember his name. It was like Cody or something. He was like banging on the door because I had been in there for so fucking long. And so he just like kept banging. And I was like, "Fucking stop!" And he like kept on. He was like, "Oh, it's so quiet, Corey, in there," because I never fucking said anything. And he was
Yeah.
like making a big deal. He's like, "Fucking hog in the bathroom." And he would like do this thing where he like had his back up against the wall and he would like kick it with his fucking foot. So it was like,
Wow.
yeah, it was really fucking loud. So
Your
like,
cannon's going off and you're dropping bombs.
yeah. And so our bathroom was right next to the welding class. So I come out of the bathroom and I've got my hoodie on. And I just walk straight into the welding class. And then he's like, fucking finally. And he goes in the bathroom. The door shuts behind him and immediately comes out of the bathroom because of how bad it was. And then, like, I was just like sitting at my desk with my fucking head down. And then, like, all the girls and stuff that were in welding class just to fucking hang out with their boyfriends and shit come into the fucking uh the hallway to where the class is and stuff, and the smell is just in the fucking classroom.
Permeating
Yeah.
everywhere.
Yeah, so the girls are like, God damn! Just fucking going off. And then, of course, he had to fucking tell everybody who it was. He's like, it's fucking Corey over there.
Yeah, with his head down.
Yeah.
Should
Right.
have just gave like a thumbs up, like, yeah, it was me.
Yeah. I like the next day I actually ended up getting sick and my cousin was at school and they had class and they were like calling roll and they called my name and he was like, Corey? And then somebody was like, after that thing yesterday, I definitely wouldn't fucking be here.
Oh man.
I was like, they did not fucking say that. He was like, yeah, man, everybody laughed. We had a good time about it.
We
Well,
laughed, had a good time.
it kind of goes without saying, but it sounds like you had a very shitty day.
It was legit shitty. It was the shittiest shitty day.
Sounds like the day was a blowout to me.
Very funny, Mark. um, I have more stories, but I just can't think of them off the top of my head. Uh, yeah. So I guess I'll just go into my albums.
Yeah, no problem. All the shit you had to go through that day, I have a newfound respect for you,
It was bad.
but also like I'm sorry. Like I'm sorry you had to go through that.
I don't. I mean. Oh yeah, I did have another story. It was the story was how I got the fucking scars on my hand. Like my hand, I have a scar. My left hand,
Oh,
I have a
yeah, I know
scar.
what
Yeah, to where my thumb and my hand connect together, and then like on the back of it, I have a scar. And
Hmm.
uh, what happened here is made like playing guitar or like playing like whenever Guitar Hero came out, this injury that I had gotten was like it almost made me never play Guitar Hero because of how bad my hand would hurt when I play it. But I came into school one day and it was in welding class again, and it was after like the TCAP or whatever, uh, all of our tests. So we were all just kind of hanging out, and we all would put our backpacks on this table in the corner of the room, and they were like mesh backpacks because we had to have that shit. And so I'm like sitting on the table, and my friend Michael, he's there, and my cousin Chris is there. And Michael's doing something, and I said something about him, and he like, you know how you did like the I'm gonna get you fucking chasing you shit, and I was like dodging around these fucking tables. So I jumped up on the fucking table, and Michael, for some reason, he grabs my fucking feet and like pulls them up like he's gonna like throw my feet over my head, and that makes my me like fall backwards, and I slam my hands down on the table.
Ooh.
Yeah, and when I did, my cousin had the fucking pair of scissors in his bag, and they were positioned just so whenever I slammed my hand down, they went through my hand. And
Mm.
it didn't go completely through. Like you could see a little bit of the scissors above, uh, like poking out of my skin, but like it was kind of just like I don't.
they're in my hand now.
Yeah, they're in there, and like I I didn't want to pull my hand off of it, but it was in the bag, so whenever I lifted my hand up, it just came out, but like
Mm.
blood like spurted out. And I'm
Mm.
a hemophobic, so like I almost immediately fucking passed out. And
Now I have the face you had earlier.
yeah,
I
yeah.
imagine. Yeah.
Uh, so I hold my hand and I'm like, oh my fucking god, I just got stabbed. And they're like still joking around. So Michael's like, what? I was like, I just fucking got stabbed. He was like, by what? And I thought it was a pencil at first. And Chris was like, my fucking scissors. And so they're all wanting to see it, and I'm like, no, I gotta fucking go. And
Yeah.
I was at that point, I was just like freaking out. So I ran into the bathroom and was trying to. I didn't know that you weren't supposed to run it underwater, so I was just like, I'll just run it under some water, maybe that'll help.
Yeah.
And it made so much blood come out of my hand. It was like, oh my god, it was so fucking bad. Like my legs had gotten weak, and I almost collapsed in the floor. But I came out of the bathroom and ran immediately up these steps that we had to go to the principal's office. And I was just gonna bust in there and be like, "Help!"
Yeah. Right.
But
I need a medic.
as I was running up the stairs, these two guys that I knew was like, "What the fuck's going?" It was Rob. holy shit, it was fucking
Was it?
Rob. Yeah, Rob was at the top of the stairs, so I'm running up the stairs holding my hand. He was with this guy named CJ, and they were like, what the fuck's going on? And I was like, I gotta go to fucking the office. I've been fucking stabbed. And he's like, somebody stabbed you? I was like, no, I fucking it's fucking scissors. And they were like, let me see. I was like, this ain't no time for no fucking show and tell. I gotta go. So I tried running up the stairs, and I fucking tripped over my shoes because they were untied, and I rolled to the bottom of the fucking stairs.
Aw.
And they were like, "What the fuck?" So they like took me over to the elevator that we had because I forgot that there was a fucking elevator. And they put me on the elevator and I was like, "Just go to the office." And they like, and the doors are like fucking closing, and I was like down on one knee. I was like, "God damn it!" And I went to the office and I was like, I've been stabbed."
Question mark?
Yeah, I went in there and they were like there was so many people in the office that I kind of had to stand there for a few minutes, and she was like, "Yeah, how can I help you?" And I was like, "I've been stabbed."
It's just like, hey, what
Okay,
can I
well, I
do
can
for you?
definitely
Well, there's
assist you with that. Oh,
But we went to the nurse's office and she looked at it and she cleaned it up and everything, and she thought I had just cut my hand. She didn't know that it came out the other side, so she put a band-aid over the part on my palm. And uh I was at that point just thinking she was going to take care of it. So she was like, "All right, you're all good." And I kind of looked at the other side and I was like, "But it's bleeding on this side too." And she was like, "Oh, we'll put a," she like put just like a hand band-aid over it. And I was like, "Okay." And I was thinking, I'm fucking going home at this point. I need to go to the doctor. She was like, "You can go back to class." And I was like, "What?" I was like, "I kind of need to call home." And she was like, "No, it's fine. You can just go back to class." I went back to class and finished the fucking day.
damn.
Yeah,
wow.
like it wasn't until sixth period I went into fuck what was the coach's name that did science? Coach Fulton. I went to his class and I was like messing with my hand. He was like, "What's wrong with your hand, Reese?" And I showed him. He was like, "You need to fucking go home."
Yeah, right.
I was like, I've been trying to tell you that for like
Yeah,
20 minutes.
he just straight up said, "You need to fucking go home." he, he was like, "I don't even know why you're in this class." He's like, "That could have nerve damage. You could get an infection." And so like he called my grandma. She came and picked me up, and she didn't take me to the goddamn doctor.
Jesus
God
Christ.
Yeah, so
damn.
it never got treated. Like it healed. Like I stayed home for a couple days, and it healed up unnaturally, and like I still have pain in it still, and there's scars from it. That was that was the worst day of my fucking high school. Was the fucking scissors thing.
Damn.
Cause
Well, yeah, comparing that to the first day, yeah, that's
I legit thought I was gonna bleed out, and the nerve damage never even fucking crossed my mind until like
yeah.
it had healed up and I was moving it around and stuff, and I was like, oh shit. And it also does like this weird popping thing sometimes.
Mm.
Yeah, it's a bitch. But yeah, I think I killed enough time. As far as my albums go, I've got like a very like I got like I like rock and I like all types of music, so they're gonna be kind of different. Like so the
Very diverse taste.
well yeah, so my first album that I think's like one of the most perfect albums is it's kind of hard to say. It's an album from the Deftones called Koi no Yokin,
Mm.
and that album with another album called Diamond Eyes are like to me two of the most perfect alternative rock albums that's ever been made. Uh, I don't know. I just feel like I could listen to both those albums 100 times and then never get old. Uh,
I've never heard of either.
you never heard? I recommend checking them out. Uh, I don't know. They're Deftones just to me seems like one of those bands that came out on like the new metal era with like Linkin Park and Korn and those bands that they never got like any type of recognition. It doesn't seem like they were always kind of uh on the outside,
On the back foot kind of deal.
yeah, of
Hmm.
the popularity. But those two albums are, in my opinion, just like accumulation of how awesome they got. Uh, and the next album is probably, I mean, a lot of these albums are gonna be like rock based, but uh, Slipknot's Iowa album, I think that's a really good album. Uh,
Yeah.
that one to me kind of kicked off, uh, in my mind, my whole early 2000s uh thing of like being into anime, and like just that album encompasses everything of my childhood, kind of like from my parents like getting split up to me getting into everything that would eventually make me who I am. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
uh and then this album, like I said, it's gonna, like, they're gonna be different. uh it's My Chemical Romance's first album, that I Brought You My Bullets and You Brought Me Your Love. That album,
That one's pretty good, yeah.
I think that every song on that album uh is perfect. It's not like their later albums, cuz like I can go to like the Three Cheers for Sweet Revenge or the Black Parade or the Danger Days, and I can pick like one or two songs for each one of those albums. I'm like, I fucking hate that this is played on the radio so much, or if this has gained so much popularity, because that, to me that band was kind of like, uh for people that was felt like they were outcasts, but they didn't want something that was like 100% heavy. They wanted something that was kind of a little bit more emotional. Uh,
Yeah.
and after that album, it kind of seemed like they were like, we're gonna do a few songs for, the radio. But this one is like they kind of knew what I was going through in a way, like that whole emo trend that I was in when I was in my early teens. They kind of hit that perfect. Um, the next album, well, it's a rap album, and it's by a guy named Asap Rock. It's an album called Impossible Kid. And to me, like, I don't like rap. I like songs that, to me, in my opinion, music is an outlet to express emotion or to tell stories.
Hmm.
And
Nah.
a lot of times, rap and stuff, I think, has that vehicle to express that in a way that no other music can, but a lot of people don't express it the way that I think they should. But this album seems like the artist put everything, like his life on this album. It sounds like he grew up in like the northern part of the United States, and the way he sings about like him having depression and the ways that he deals with it, to like his uh psychiatrist telling him to get a cat. Like there's a whole song on the album about his cat that he got for depression. And like, I don't know. It's just that album to me, out of a lot of music, showed more humanity uh, put into their music. So I definitely think that's one of the most perfect albums. And then the last one would probably just be every fucking song from Queens of the Stone Age. I think I think
It's just one giant album. It's fine.
I could turn on Queens of the Stone Age when I wake up in the morning and listen to every song from them and not get tired of it. Like, I don't think there's any songs that I would feel like it's taking, like, there, like, you can listen to a song and be like, I've heard this one too much. There's not anything on any of their albums that I feel like I've ever been that way with, especially
Yeah.
their Lullabies to Paralyze, their first album. I
Hmm.
really like that album probably the most, and then the Rated R and Songs for the Death are probably tied, and uh, just that's probably, in my opinion, the best rock band that has been brought out in a long time.
Well, I really like that they're so versatile. Like you don't have really like two songs that kind of sound the same.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, they have a specific sound, and they've been able to take that sound and morph it so many different ways that
Right. Yeah.
it's always new and fresh. It's never different. Uh, well, I mean, it's
It,
always different, but it's that those guys are the epitome of what anybody in rock should be trying to be like, in my opinion.
yeah,
Those
and I
are
like never
legit
heard
rock
of them.
stars.
Right. But I never like heard of them until Guitar Hero Rock Band. Like
Yeah,
I never even knew they existed.
yeah.
That's
I
pretty
mean,
funny.
before the whole rock band thing, I was listening to fucking like I would just listen to whatever my friends listened to, and then I got into that, and I was like, okay, well, I can definitely see me liking this genre of music, and then like I would hear all these like different types of different subsections of rock, and I'd be like, well, I don't always have to feel like I need to be going at 100 miles an hour with my music with something like Slipknot or something, or like a heavier metal band. I could like tone it back some and kind
Hmm.
of get some different emotions going. But yeah, that's the bands I like. So check them out or don't. I don't really
Your bands are shit.
care.
Your taste in music, your own personal opinion, yeah, garbage.
Yeah.
No.
Straight up no. Straight up no.
No.
Now,
All right. You guys got anything else that you're planning on doing? Like any specific things? Tristan, you got any plans that you're doing with the video card? Like you gonna try to get a new one, or are you just gonna stick with that one?
No, I'm gonna definitely stick with this card. I do need the new processor. Probably be within the next few months
Hmm.
or something. But then I also need to get other parts for my car. So the computer parts are gonna have to wait.
All the bullshit of your life just keeps taking,
Yeah.
yeah, priority over things that you want
Yeah,
to do.
right. Yeah, it's like fuck if I want to just like go home and play video games, fuck it. I got all these other responsibilities
Yeah.
and shit. But no, I really want to start getting into streaming, and not even in the sense to try and get famous and make money. I want to use it as a way to like accept donations for
Hmm.
charities, because I feel like that. Well, I mean, I feel like eventually in my life I'm gonna hit this point where I want to like make a difference,
Yeah.
But right now with what I do and the things that I'm like interested in, I can't really make a difference at all. And I'm not super creative, but I feel like I can be somewhat funny and accept donations for like big name charities and try to like donate to them and stuff. So that's the main goal really, is to get into like streaming and try to do that. But
Yeah, you're more concerned with what you can do with rather what you can become.
yeah, right.
Yeah. Eric, you got anything you plan on doing in the future?
uh, probably not. I
just
just
hang, just hanging
just
out.
go with the flow, see where it takes me.
Yeah.
Uh, I just finished what is it? The Steins Gate.
Mm-hmm.
Finished it last night. That goddamn, that whole show was a roller coaster from start to end.
Yep. They have a movie that's. I mean, if you're not had your fill of that, you can get more of that. But I don't. I have heard it doesn't really add anything to the story.
Oh, it don't.
It's
No,
kind of
that's
like
sad.
filler.
I heard there's like a new series for Steins Gate, like Steins Gate Zero, or whatever.
That could be it.
Well, I mean, no, like there's a whole like another series that started.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like just recently or something.
Hmm. I have to check it out.
But I'll wait until it finishes before I watch it, because if I'm gonna watch it, I'm gonna binge it, and I'm gonna hate to get like 3 episodes and be like, yeah, we're coming out with 1 to 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing I hate. Like I wanted to watch My Hero and I got like halfway through the second season and it's like, oh, I gotta wait till next week to see what happens.
That's why I've been reading the manga.
I'm just
Right,
trying to wait. Like we're all going about the My Hero thing differently. Like Eric's already read the manga. Tristan's kind of going episode to episode. I'm just fucking waiting until all the episodes are out, and then I'm
right.
just gonna watch it all at once.
Well, I'm like episode chapter 166 out of, I mean, they got 179 now, so I'm like trying to catch back up.
Does anybody know how many episodes are out in a season for them?
I think season 3 started with like episode 36, so maybe like on average 12. I don't think it's actually so many per season.
Yeah.
They're in their like in 30s, something like that.
Oh, my One Punch Man's planning on coming back, or Mob Psycho 100.
Oh, there's definitely a season 2 of that
Yeah,
soon.
my Rick and Morty. I want to know when that's gonna happen.
I think like the beginning of next year.
It's like as it stands, they're debating on what is it, contracts and whatnot.
Have you guys seen the Bush World cartoon they brought out for the April Fool's thing?
I hated it.
It
I
is
did not
fucking
watch.
garbage, but yeah.
I read the description of it and it was like, I don't really think I want to see that one.
Like I watched it and I was like, I'll give it a shot because it's Adult Swim. I'll give it a shot, and I could not stand the animation and the jokes were not funny.
You didn't think the jokes were funny?
No, like they got to this one spot where like they were gonna talk to this dude to give him a ride somewhere, and he's
Yeah.
like, it's like, but I've got amnesia, or I've got like he's got like short memory loss,
got
and he's like, oh,
dementia.
he's like, I'll just kill you guys, and like he dies, and he's like, oh, guess what? My spirit transferred to this car, so I'm gonna give you guys a ride, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
Whenever I was watching, I was like, so many people are gonna fucking hate this.
It's like the same thing with like their uh Eric and whatever show. I can't stand it
Tim and
either.
Eric.
It's the same kind of humor, and I just can't stand it.
That is, it's a very rare few amount of people I've ever met that's been like, you know what? I like Tim and Eric. I've never heard that. Like until just like right then.
But the sad part is they push that show so hard on Adult Swim. Like if you have their Facebook page liked, I shit you not, 9 times out of 10, it's like, yeah, here's a skit from the Tim and Eric show, and I'm like, I do not care.
I'm the only person I know that likes it. Like I don't like the only other person I've ever watched it with is Robert, and I don't think he likes it either.
I don't like the humor. It's like it feels like they're not even trying to make it funny. It's just like, yeah, what do you want to do? I just want to shit in a bread. All right, well there you go. There's the skit. He's shitting in some bread.
Yeah, and I'm
I've
down with
yet to
that.
see it. but
Like
I
like
don't
the
really-
behind the scenes for the jokes are probably a lot funnier than the skits themselves.
Yeah.
It's probably like something like we're doing, like
Yeah.
discussing.
Like I could see it like pictured. It shows a guy like walk into a room with like a plate with a piece of bread on it, and he literally just drops trow, shits on it, and walks out of the room. I want to hear them discuss this before they do the show. Be like, you know what I want to do? I want to shit on this piece of bread. What we should do? We should put it on a plate in the middle. That sounds great, man. Instead of just like, casually walk out, take a shit, walk back out. I'm like, what?
I've got Super Mario Odyssey borrowed from a friend. I'm gonna try that game out. See how far I can get in that. I just feel like the Mario, like my only problem with the Mario games is like the music's really good. I just want some different fucking music besides like jazzy, happy music
Yeah.
from a Mario game. Like Super
Like
Mario
Nintendo
World.
64 water level,
Yeah, like they
like
had.
the whole game. Like,
I actually have never played Super Mario 64.
get the fuck out.
What?
I've never fucking
Leave.
played Super Mario 64.
Bruh,
Did
they
you play
had
the
it on the
DS
fucking
version?
DS too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
know
the
it.
DS version.
I have it on the 64. I have it on the DS, and I've never played it.
Holy shit.
That's your homework for next week. You gotta,
You gotta at least play like an hour of that game or something.
you gotta go up the mountain and fight King Bob before you come back here next week. That's the very first level.
That's how it's the first level. That's like 1 or 2 stars in, man. You gotta do
Yeah.
it.
You gotta do that. You gotta beat the Koopa up the mountain, and then you gotta get in the cannon and shoot up above the tree and get that star.
I was one thing that postponed me on. I was kind of thinking that they would eventually bring it out on a console in like an HD version besides the DS, and it never happened. So
Nah, I don't think it'll. They might do it with like the Switch at one point, but like, yeah, we're just gonna let you download it from the store. There you go.
Yeah, right. But like of its time, that was like a great game.
but does
There's
it
a lot of.
is it still going to hold up though?
It's
Let's
pretty good.
Let's do a quick topic. Number one Nintendo 64 game of all time, in your opinion? But it can't be Mario or Zelda.
Number one.
Yeah.
Uh,
Hold on, I'll be
all
right
right, all right. I've got it. I've got it. I've got my number one, and it's gonna be the dumbest fucking thing. But I played like a good maybe 400 hours of it as a kid.
What was that?
WWF's No Mercy.
Oh, that was a really good one.
Yeah, I played the ever living. Like they had back when the card shop was by what used to be Foodland is now like the fucking electric company. They had this little section where people would sit down and play games, and I watched a couple of the employees there sit down and play this game, and I was like, man, that game looks like a lot of fun. I want to get that game.
Mhm.
So I got that game at some point, and I legit played like a good 400 hours into it. Like I got to the point where I made this one wrestler dude who was super good at submissions, and that's all he did. He would either do submissions or he would do like off the top rope things. Never did any strikes. Never did any like grappling suplexes or anything. It was all submissions. And he, at one point in the story, I played him, and he got the heavyweight belt. And then no matter what I did, I could never get that fucking belt back from that character on any other character. Like he legit just whooped my ass every time I went to go fight him. I was like, "Fuck this! I'm going for another belt. I'm gonna delete this motherfucker."
Well, the great thing about that game is like the character selection. There were so many different characters you can
Oh, I
play
know.
as.
Hmm.
And the second thing was any wrestling game where you have like a creative character mode is really cool. Like there was a Yu-Gi-Oh card I liked. It's like my favorite card in my deck, and it was called Strike Ninja. I don't know if anyone ever had that card.
I have it in my deck.
Yeah,
Sounds
Strike
familiar.
Ninja, really cool card. But I made like on like WWE SmackDown or WWF SmackDown, whatever it was
Hmm.
at that time. That had created character mode, and even his taunts. Like I got down to every little bitty part of that character, like anything ninja like. His
You
special move
had
was
it.
he spit the green mist in your face, and his taunt was he does this fucking like triple front flip spin in the air kind of shit, and then he looks like a robot and he dabs at the end or some shit.
I wonder if
Like,
any of the new wrestling games hold up to like.
I've heard some stupid shit about him.
Mm,
well, from what I've seen, like you know how like the heavier characters like the Undertaker or Kane, they have those like really like haymaker kind of roll into you punches.
yeah.
Like I've seen a newer wrestling game in which like even the quickest of characters have like that type of punch. Like everyone punches the same, you know.
Hmm.
And
That seems boring.
yeah, it does. But I don't know if there's like a certain setting did to change that or not. But it was just like everyone punches the same. Everyone pulls, jumps, runs against the rope the same way. Back in the old days, you
Back
Yeah,
know,
in
was
there
my day.
you had
let me
like
tell
certain
you.
all the people were like basically certain classes of a wrestler, and they
Yeah.
all had their way they moved, the way they did things was based on that. So if it was a person that was supposed to be fast, or a person that was supposed to be doing like quote high risk maneuvers from the turnbuckle, from the top rope, then they performed a certain way than they would like the Undertaker or Kane, like. But yeah, No Mercy was definitely a great 64 title.
Hmm.
My choice that I feel like you guys probably haven't played was Blast Core. Do you remember Blast Core?
Mm-mm.
So like, well, back in the day, like the story of any 64 game was kind of lame, but in this case, like I think there's like a meteor, something was about to hit Earth, and the way they were going to block it was this nuclear missile on this like little
Armageddon.
fire truck looking thing, or maybe they were just trying to blow something up for whatever reason, and this truck.
Fuck.
Yeah, right. I'll have to look it up, but this truck like continued to move, right? And the problem is this truck was on a straight path to ground zero, and there were buildings and shit in the way, or like certain puzzles, like railroad tracks or a fucking train parked in the center, and all these different maps involved you destroying buildings or shit in the path of this bomb.
They were in the way.
Right.
No.
But yeah, like the trick was that like sometimes like it's like warning, like collision imminent, like you have 5 seconds before building, and
Yeah.
you got to destroy what's in its way. But then like you're in this like little Tonka truck thing that's really good at drifting and shit, and then you have this bulldozer, or you have this like robot mech suit that looks like Doomfist, like it only has one arm and it like rolls and does uppercuts and shit. and if you hit the truck, it blows up.
Oh.
So, and not only that, if it hit anything, it blows up. So it was like a puzzle game, but it was time oriented, where you have to destroy all the shit in a timely manner. And in some cases, you have to go all the way on the other side of the map and push this box that like plugs a hole for this train to pass through, and then you got to go and get out and to the train and move to this where there's like a little ramp where the truck can go over.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty like problematic, and it was like
Pretty
really
sweet.
tense. There's that game, and then Turok Rage Wars, which is like the first person shooter aside from GoldenEye that I enjoyed, because there was like weird guns where one was like a freeze ray, and they had the occasional shotgun sniper rifle thing, and one was like the chest burster. So you shoot an enemy like enough times, and an alien like bursts from their chest, and they die.
I've never played Turok. I know Ashley really likes it, but I've never played it.
The actual games and then the Turok Rage Wars are completely different.
Oh.
Turok Rage Wars was like one of those Nintendo 64 party games where like friendships were destroyed. like Mario Kart. Yeah, and Mario Kart.
Oh yeah, Mario Party. Goddamn.
We played
I
Mario
don't know,
Party last night.
And see, that's what I'm saying. Like any Mario game, yeah, someone's gonna get pissed.
It's like the Monopoly of video games. Somebody's gonna get upset somewhere.
Oh yeah.
So I've got
Corey, go ahead.
Okay, I've got two. The first one is kind of a meh. It's Pokemon Stadium 2.
No, it's a good one.
I always like
So I like it better.
I was so into Pokemon when I was a kid that game took up so much of my time, and being able to like level up your characters on your Game Boy games and then transport them over was just like
And seeing them beat people's ass on
yeah.
TV.
The only thing I wish they would bring it back and allow you to customize like your Pokemon to like give them like hats or like fucking dye their fur or whatever. You know, that's fucked up, but whatever. Just
Someone's gonna eat us.
just like Pikachu. Pikachu's got like the little brown lines on his back. Like you could make those fucking zigzags or something. You know, just a
Right.
different type of Pokemon's stuff. Make a blue Bulbasaur or whatever. Just had a lot of fun with that. Being able to have a handheld experience and then also a console experience too. But the other game that I sunk a lot of time into was the Mega Man 64.
I think it's the only Mega Man game I haven't played.
Uh,
I would feel the same way. Yeah, never played that one.
It's okay. So like everybody gives Zelda like a lot of credit for like the third person, you know, targeting system and stuff. Well, Mega Man 64 had that, and it had a pretty damn good story, and the character designs look fucking awesome. So, like, I love Zelda. Like, Zelda's cool, but I don't know. Mega Man 64, everybody always puts a lot of hate on it, saying it diverse from, like, you know, the side scroller shit that they did all the time, but it ventured out and tried to do something different. And
Right.
I think it did a pretty damn good job with that. So, like, if you haven't played Mega Man 64 and you got the time, you can, you know, bear with the age that it's probably gotten, fucking do it. Mega
Bruh,
Man 64 is the shit.
That's fucking Mega Man Legends.
Yeah,
Oh my god.
it was
See, I
on
have played it then.
PlayStation. Yeah, it's on
Yeah,
PlayStation.
They called it Mega Man Legends on the PlayStation.
hmm
That game was real fun.
I had it on 64, so
Yeah.
they had a sequel. It was meh, and then
Hey, 2
what?
was good. Don't hate.
Is it? Did they have like a legit sequel, or is the sequel the Tron
Yeah, Mega Man
Bond?
Legends 2.
Okay, so they had that. I haven't played that one. I played the Tron
Oh,
Bond
that one's
game.
really good. That one's no. The Tron Bond is like a spin-off, but Mega Man Legends 2 was an actual like sequel to it, and I think it's actually better than the first one.
See, Mega Man 64 is probably my favorite game, and I want it for the PlayStation. I want it for this inbox, and I want all of them. I love collecting the old games and like getting all the boxes and stuff that came in. So
The bells and whistles.
all the bells and whistles and
Yeah,
floopy
Legends
loops.
is probably the best fucking Mega Man game I've ever played.
The X series is really good, but
Yeah.
like if you want a good polygon like third-person adventure game, fuck with Mega Man.
Just don't play the Mega Man RPG thing for X. Just don't do it.
Nah, don't. We don't
It
talk about that.
I played it and like I enjoyed it when I first played it, and then I look back at it and I'm like, holy shit, what was I thinking?
We do talk about it.
No, we do talk about it a little bit.
Just not in great detail.
No. But as far as today's podcast, I guess that's what we're gonna call it. Uh, yeah, we got almost an hour 30 minutes out of something I didn't think was gonna last 45 minutes. So I think we did pretty good.
Yeah, we're
Did
pretty good at that.
pretty good.
Perfect.
So yeah, third episode is in the can.
Third.
Stick around. Send up
Third.
those likes. Subscribe. Share. Whatever you want to do. Don't do it. Peace out.